Welcome back, heroes. Thank you for joining us once again. We return to our heroes on the shoreline after the Outrunner has been almost pulled up to the shore by Potjack. The great ogre mercenary is considering leaving the group, but Roland was headed up to try to convince him to do otherwise. And please remember to like and subscribe to videos if you're enjoying our content. We really appreciate it. And remember, do try this at home. Roland, we begin with you headed up towards the great ogre, who is currently sitting on the shore, a bit splopped out, with his great butt sitting, making a rounded mud angel on the shoreline. As you head up towards him, he's going to look up and he gives you a sort of a understanding nod. Pretty brave, what you did, he says, with the frog thing. You feeling alright?
Yeah.
With the poison, you seemed a little dazed.
Yeah, I mean, just the little gnome guy afterwards, that all combined with getting poisoned really threw me off. But I'm here because they told me to try to get you to stay. I understand if you're scared of something that's here and you gotta leave, but
What? Scared of something? Why would you think that?
I don't know, man, you're acting like you're bugging out about something. I get this way sometimes too.
He gets kind of a puffy look on his face. He puffs out his lips a little bit. Potjack didn't get scared of nothing. He says, do you think I'm a coward now? He says. Just because you feel me, you beat me, ain't it?
No, it's not that.
Oh, Roland.
And also, I don't know.
He's going to, heavily pat your shoulder. You're too nice. And a little dense. Hey, what's the name of your, dragon again?
Shadow.
Really?
Yeah.
Named your Shadow Dragon Shadow?
Yeah, I got it when I was 16 years old. I wasn't that creative.
Well, okay. He says. Oh. He seems to think for a moment. What do you think about Potjack?
What do I think about Potjack?
That's what he says. What he asks.
No, he said, what do I think about Potjack? He said it, referred to Potjack in the third person back at him.
Right.
I don't know, man. I mean...
Do you think I'm a coward?
No, not at all. But if you've got to get back for something you don't think we're going to get there in time, I understand. I just told them I'd try. They really like having you around for some reason.
Roll an advantage persuasion check.
Oh my god, terrible.
Oh god.
Terrible. 8.
He thinks you're lying.
He's going to sort of place his hand on your back, and the weight of it sort of forces you to sit down next to him.
He'll plop down.
You ever been to Bridgewalk, Roland?
Yeah, but it's been years.
Well, they got this nice restaurant called, I call it the Jiggly Place, but that's not what they called it. It's in that red light district.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you as a paladin ain't gonna do nothing like that, but old Potjack went there the last time he was there. There was this fine, jiggly dwarf. They saw her and it was like, maybe that one. And they were like, well, she's a little small. And I was like, boom, placed down a gold bar. And they were like, well, we got a wizard. And I was like, that's what I like to hear. So they cast an old spell on her, made her as large as a Potjack. One day call me unstoppable. Dang kidding. He says, looking over towards you. He's gonna look over at you, and he has that, like, same, like, old, pleased grin on his face as prior. He goes, I can see that your youthful mind is considering all the possibilities.
Unfortunately.
He says, don't worry, though. I gave her a big tip. If you know what I mean.
Well, Potjack, this has been a pleasure as always.
What I'm saying is that...
Are you trying to get back to her?
What? No. Why do you think that? What I'm saying is Bridgewater has a lot to offer people with good money.
That's exactly what I anticipated you to say.
You're not... Let me finish. Look, bro. I can tell who the good guys are.
He's gonna start to get back up.
And who the bad guys are. And I know that I'm considered one of the bad guys. I know that gamblers ain't no good. But here's the thing. People don't pay you extra to not tear someone's arms off. You only get paid extra when you're willing to do that stuff. And since I've done it in the past, and everybody knows it, they all think, oh, that Potjack, he ain't got no morals. That's true, I don't got no morals, that's fine. But I can be paid to have morals. So I'll tell you what. I'll stick around. In exchange, you'll tell the Kings of Garen that old Potjack can do whatever job they pay him to do, even if they were willing to pay me extra not to rip someone's arms off. That's a real business arrangement right there.
Man, I hate to say this. I'd have done that anyway.
He says, well, old Potjack keeps his word, so if you still do it, and I know that if I ran away, you might consider me a cowardly sort, who you can't tell the Kings of Garen to hire me for their lucrative bounties. So if you promise to do that, I'll stick around.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I'm not going to ask for the fate, though, for nothing. I trust you.
So you're sticking around?
Only because everybody wants me to.
All right. He's gonna walk and pat Potjack on the shoulder as he walks away. Good talk.
Hey, maybe share that around about that dwarf girl.
He's gonna jog back towards the boat.
You look scarred for life.
Yeah.
Did you give him the alcohol?
Oh, he would have dropped it down whenever he sat him down.
How big is the bottle?
She was generous.
Alright, Potjack's tilted the whole thing up and it's
gone.
draining into his gullet right now.
And it's gone.
So you head back. Hero looks at you with anticipation. What did he say? He says, looking at your face.
Nothing for your ears. He's gonna stay though.
Hero's gonna put up his hand for a 5.
He'll give him a little 5.
Hero looks pretty enthused about the 5. Euphemia, you are also adjacent, so you hear the news as well.
Excellent. And will he protect the crew if there's trouble?
Didn't say, but I think he will. He asked me to do him a favor, and I think it means a lot to him, but...
What kind of favor did he ask?
He just asked me to tell the Kings of Garen that they can pay him to do good stuff if they want to.
Just pay him for a regular job?
Yeah.
He's
You
just
know that
networking?
Potjack-
I guess.
Please tell me your voice actually goes up and squeaks at the end of you.
Yes. That's how it would have sounded.
You can imagine that the Crown's coffers are quite substantial, and if Giran refuses to hire him for his past deeds, then it would certainly be worth a great deal of money to him in the future.
Well, sounds like his greed won out. Excellent. Right.
Roland will write a letter to, God, I'm blanking on his name right now, the War King.
Kodan.
Kodan. He'll write a letter to Kodan detailing the ridiculous conversation with Potjack and what Potjack asked to send to them, because he's pretty candid with Kodan.
Okay. So, excuse me, doggy toy.
I thought that was Gabriel for a second. I was like, oh no! You killed him!
Gabriel's just happily sleeping in his bed.
Jennifer, Dom says, how are you feeling?
How long has it been?
About 2.5 hours.
She still looks pretty damn dazed. She goes, "Oh, I've been better. How are you? Are you doing well?"
Thanks to you, he says. I wanted to offer my deepest condolences, deepest thanks, he says.
Okay.
For,
I was like, condolences, what happened?
deepest thanks
Being high.
for saving me from the tide.
Of course.
Did we ever figure out what
She
was
just
happening
pats
with
his hand, kind of absently.
the crew? Informed me that what I saw when I woke up wasn't entirely hallucination. They said that you transformed.
I transformed in the past. She leans in and she goes, "It's one of the secrets of the godmothers."
He smiles a little bit and nods.
She kind of stops for a second and does that.
Well, you know my secrets for somewhat, and I think I certainly
do?
can keep a few of yours.
And she goes, "I do?"
You know that I'm Roland's brother.
Is that really a secret, though?
Oh, I would like it to be a better one, he says, but
It's not.
he gives a kind of grim nod, a little bit of a smirk, and then he says, well, just because they aren't well-kept secrets doesn't mean you don't know. Either way, your secret is safe with me.
I appreciate it.
Klebe is going to approach Euphemia. As he comes up, he's going to say, "Hey, Yuffie," in Johnny's voice.
Klebe.
As you turn around, you see that Walks is following Klebe.
Have you made a friend?
He's going to nod proudly and then say, "Hunt," in Walks' voice.
No. She immediately says, no hunt.
He says, "Roland's sword," in Dom's voice. "For Hunt."
Oh.
He's gonna and he says, "Come on, Yuffie," in Bolly's voice.
Well, you'd have to get Roland's permission to use that sword.
He's going to look over and see Shadow sleeping between him and Roland, and then shakes his head.
Well, then you don't want it enough.
"I do," Walk says, and he's going to run over towards Roland.
Oh dear.
"Roland! Knife elf! Can I have your sword?"
No.
Okay. He's going to walk back over. He didn't say no. He said no.
He said no, she says.
"What now? How hunt? How hunt?"
No.
Klebe says.
Wait, where's your mother? Or dad? Where's dad?
Right now.
He says, "Oh, I go." Walk says, "But Klebe needs to come. You
Absolutely.
Klebe's mom. So you, my mom?"
She pauses. This is not the opportune time to hunt.
So when hunt?
Isaac! She yells.
Isaac grumpily kind of walks over and says, "What?"
She gestures.
Dada, when hunt?
Oh,
Clevey looks over at you, and you see him kind of like look back at Euphemia and then look at you, and then says, in Walk's voice, "Go on hunt."
Walks. I'm okay with you hunting, but what are you wanting to do with the things that you catch?
Eat.
I see. And it's not just for fun?
Fun too.
So what do you think about...
Clevey's like, he's gonna kind of look over, and he gives like a...
Walks, what would you think of hunting just for fun, and then you just eat with us?
He says, "Okay."
Then Isaac says, "Okay." And then he opens his hand, and a series of coins he was holding hit the ground, stand up, and then roll off in opposite directions.
It is very clear that this is a perfect hunt, and the two of them scatter in many directions to try to find all the coins. You never get them all back.
Oh, no.
Euphemia turns to Isaac. You've been surprisingly useful today.
You know...
How surprised you are.
Euphemia, if I had a coin for every time you said that on this journey, I'd be able to retire by now.
You just dropped all your...
It shouldn't be that shocking anymore. He says, and he'll, turn around and walk off.
Boat's ready, Captain. Bully says. Both of them.
We're gonna need to rest. She needs to be less... whatever that is. She gestures at June.
June is still sitting next to Shadow, and she's currently leaning on her, and she's kind of just stroking her.
Shadow has drawn several pictograms on the ground. You think that she's raving to you about the Cool's fight that she had with the Frog King. How
June
awesome she
asks
was.
questions and asks her to respond in her own language.
Okay. She does.
Can you understand Shadow?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Oh, man. All right.
So I hear Potjack is sticking around. How did that occur? Bully says.
Roland, apparently. Although I like to think that the nice liquor I gave him probably helped.
She looks over towards Roland. Okay.
You know, I'm gonna leave everything to you to keep things in order. So, she reaches for her bandana. I think you need to wear this while I'm gone.
You're going to see her face adopt some mild confusion and concern. She says, "If you feel that necessary, Captain," she says rather formally.
She says, we honestly don't know what we could be facing. This could be simple. This could turn out ugly.
She nods.
I'm glad to have you to rely on. In case... in case.
If you're trying to make me nervous about another attack, you've certainly succeeded, Captain.
Excellent. That was the plan.
Well. Oh. Take it, she says. She grabs the bandana and puts it on. She's going to look up towards the ship. You see her adopt something of a stoic pose before she sets off with her fists clenched towards the group.
Yeah. That's why I have to keep my head down.
You all see that these ships are prepared. Shadow is going to come up towards Roland. She says, and then she kind of flaps her wings. She does this with her fingers.
Like, is she asking, are we walking or on the ships?
But however you interpret what she just did.
We're riding on the boats. You coming with?
She knows. She gives a weird thumbs up because her fingers don't do that easily.
He grabs her hand and, like, goes in close to her.
You see her kind of thrill with your touch. Shadow is going to... And then she's going to, like, dip into the water and nudge the boat with her head.
Do you just give your dragon like a shoulder bump?
Roland?
Yeah.
It's more of like a... Like, I think of us as, like, siblings.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I've got so many sisters. What's one more?
Yeah.
So, do you guys get in the boats and head down?
I thought you said we were having a rest.
Aren't we resting?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
you're resting. Right. So, you guys
You need it.
take a rest, and we will
Yep.
roll for chaos. So a 10 or above, no chaos is gained. A 9 or below, gain a chaos. Another chaos.
That was a half roll.
That was not.
That was totally.
It was totally...
Definitely
I think
was
a
a
reroll
3.
is in order.
Daniel's cheating.
Uh-huh. DM's trying to kill us again.
You guys are up
DM's
to
always trying to
4
kill
chaos now.
Hey, wish plate. Dun, da, da, da.
You get them as chaos progresses?
No, I get
Oh,
them
no,
if we
'cause
take
we
a long
rested.
rest.
Got it.
Alright, you guys regain all of your abilities. I need you to roll fate points if your items used any fate points.
I wake up and I wonder what could have happened if they just let me touch the damn ship.
I know, right?
I can't remember what I need to roll for that.
1d6.
Okay.
You have no idea how much June really wants to see you do it, but
6!
Man, you are just rolling the 6s
Hi.
on that every time.
Yay!
Oh, for future reference, when you don't have any fate points on your dagger, its proficiency bonus increases.
That's
+3.
what I... Okay.
Okay. You guys gather up your things you're going to need for the short ride downriver and go to take on the side streams of the Enchanted Forest. So, this will allow me to introduce a mechanic that will be more common as we go forward in Mythia, the quest system. So, you guys have the quest Journey to Dramul. It is at the bottom of this page. The waterways to Dramul are too small to navigate with the Outrunner, and the footpaths offer additional danger. Choose your route carefully, or you will regret it. The route takes 2 days by foot, 2 days by boat, 4 days by foot. Difficulty is 2, which means it's fairly easy. Your first challenge is navigation, DC 14. Characters make a check that could reasonably be associated with navigating down a series of streams. If you are on foot, this check is reduced to DC 10. So, since you are on boat, it's a DC 14 check associated with navigating. Only one of you must make this check.
I would assume that Yuffie has advantage anything with ships or boats, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Yuffie is going to make the check. And what are you making associated with navigation?
how's your survival?
Not super great.
My survival's good.
Yeah, but she's got advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Perception?
could also be used.
Yeah. Perception then.
Okay, what is your plus?
+7.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. All right, +7 with advantage, DC 14.
Please. Okay. 27.
All right,
Crit.
27.
Hit you.
Absolutely, boss. All right, so you are easily able to navigate. Failure to that roll would have added 3 to all additional DCs during the quest,
Holy.
and made it take an extra 2
Holy.
days. So, since you have succeeded admirably in that, the next check is Fend Off Wildlife, DC 13.
Go
Make
for
it. Make a check that could, all of you must make this.
Oh.
Make a check that could reasonably associated with fending off wildlife. If you're on foot, this check increases to DC 14, so you have a DC 13. Failure, you lose 2d10 hit points and 1 hit dice. Failure by 5, you lose 5d10 hit points, 2 hit dice, and gain a level of exhaustion.
So what,
Fending off animals?
Fending off wildlife.
I think
So,
I'd roll Arcana.
Okay, that's totally fine. And it is DC 13 for both.
So I assume stealth wouldn't work or something like that. But
It's fighting the wildlife.
intimidation would?
Intimidation would work.
Never mind. After effects of still being high.
You failed.
Just saying.
So you take 2d... how much did you fail by?
So I got a 10, so by
10
3.
total? Okay. So you will not suffer the worst effects. However, you will take some damage, 2d10 points, and you lose a hit dice. You take 19 points of damage.
Jeez.
Jesus.
This all of us?
No. Each one of you need to make a separate check concerning this.
Would-
You have killed me.
Does
I did.
athletics work for me?
Athletics is totally fine.
Hang on. Can
Acrobatics?
I throw a wish point in?
Acrobatics is fine.
Okay.
For
All right.
Can I use a wish point?
A wish point will reduce the damage by 10.
I find that acceptable. I will definitely use a wish point because shit, man.
I got 17. So.
17, you totally make it. You are able to fend off the lesser wildlife.
I also got 17.
Okay, you're fine.
Can I do deception?
No.
Okay. What about animal handling?
Yes, I will allow him.
Oh, I failed.
What's your animal handling?
+5.
What did you
fail,
fail
buddy.
by?
Yes.
I rolled a 2.
A 2.
Oh, wait, so that's 7 total.
Hey, you rolled 1
7?
worse than
Okay,
me.
so you actually are going to take the worst effects.
Oh, but...
So you're going to take 5d10 points,
No.
2 hit dice, and you take a level of exhaustion.
No!
Wait, what did I lose other than health?
That's okay.
I lost a hit dice?
My body will just reset after we sleep, so.
Yeah, but it's a long rest sleep, right?
And we just had
Let me double check.
Jesus, I rolled awfully.
That's
Oh.
nice, considering
That's not
you
what I'm
rolled
used to.
49
49
for
points
me.
of damage.
Holy
No, you rolled really well.
Yes, I rolled
Can I
4
use
10s and a 9.
Can I use a wish point to reduce his damage?
No, hold on.
Don't we have good berries? We each have a good berry.
They
I
just
don't
for
want him to
one hit
die.
point.
Well, yeah.
Hold on. I need to look up the specific on...
Like, will that amount of damage auto kill you? Out of curiosity.
Your
No.
engine does not restore you on a short rest. It's only on a long rest. You gain back all your hit points, all your hit dice, and remove any ongoing effects on yourself.
Got it.
Long rest. Okay.
Yeah, long rest.
That will take me down to 2 hit points.
Woo! Like to reduce it by 10 again. If I could.
You
Oh,
want to spend a wish point to reduce it?
Wait, could I use one of my shield things
Can't you heal yourself?
and half it?
Yeah,
I
but
will
that's
allow
still a
you
lot.
to.
Could I have it with my...
I will not allow half because it is multiple wounds for multiple things.
gotcha.
What I will allow you to do is roll 2d12 and reduce it by that much if you spend a shield charge.
Do
Okay.
that. I
I'll
would
do that.
use that for my wishes.
So I roll 2d12 and it'll reduce it by whatever I roll?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
sorry!
Oh my god.
The total of 3 damage reduced.
Okay,
So
so
46 points.
46. Alright.
And you take a level of exhaustion and 2 hit dice loss.
Okay.
And I need each one of you to describe your successes or failures in dealing with
6.
piranha bats and grasshopper eels.
5.
That's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised there's no built-in slot for exhaustion on the character sheet by default.
Are they eel grasshoppers?
I said grasshopper eels.
Okay.
Ugh.
So they're on land?
Yes. With snaky bodies, insect legs, and they leap onto your boat and jump bite you.
That's horrifying.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great.
I don't like it.
Okay,
I
so
would-
please, Roland, describe to me your success.
What the?
That's me. Sorry.
Were
So Roland, please describe to me your
were these
success.
attacks simultaneous, or is it one and then the other?
It is one and then the other.
One and the other.
So describe to me your success in fending off the wildlife.
So the grasshopper eels were jumping onto the boat.
They leap to bite your flesh off, and then grab a piece and fall away.
Well, Roland would have probably tried to prevent them from getting on the boat, period, so he would have jumped over to the side and just hung off the side of the boat and hoped that they'd jump at him instead of the boat and then swing the sword and, wiffle ball
Maybe
bat
your
them.
shield as well.
No shield.
No shield.
No. Just
With
hanging,
that shield.
just hanging onto the railing and trying to get them to attack him instead of go onto the boat to get everybody else.
Okay, so using the the tightness of your plate to keep them away. Cool. All right, Euphemia, describe your success with your...
With either of them? Or just
describe to me just how you succeeded in fending them off with your acrobatics.
Well, so she's very quick and able to dodge, so she would probably nimbly leap out of the way, and at the same time as she's moving, probably slash down and decapitate whatever had tried to attack her.
Okay. And Juniper, describe to me your mild failure to successfully fend off the wildlife.
June seems to be having fluctuations still with her abilities. Like before, when she cast the wind spell, it was like super powerful. This time, it's less impressive, and she casts like a fireball at it, and it just kind of looks like fireworks that don't do anything. And she's like, "Well, that wasn't supposed to happen." And she just stops for a minute and just goes, and sits there.
She getting nibbled on while this happens?
She actually hides behind him in shadow, but...
Okay, so all the ones that you, hit the floor and then, jump at the much easier target of Jennifer.
All right.
And are nibbling on her. Isaac, describe to me your
She starts
catastrophic
wildly
failure.
flailing and stomping.
While we're sailing, Isaac,
And remember, you gain a level of exhaustion during
Yeah.
this.
for unknown reason, looks very
Oh, he
kind of
can't
like
swim, right?
stressed out and paranoid about something. And so you guys are batting off these fish, and some of them land in the boat. And one of you says, "Isaac, look out!" And he's like, "Huh? What?" And then one of them leaps up and just starts burrowing into his chest, and he's like, "Ah!" And he falls backwards. And then
Into the
Prongor,
water. You fall into the water.
yeah, I fall into the water.
Oh, no.
And then Prongor reaches in and has me by the leg and is trying to pull me back up. And the fish are just chomping away at me. And then eventually you get me back in pieces, probably.
So after your horrible day occurrence, so it's a day of grasshopper eels and a night of bat piranhas. Or, bird piranhas. So you are able, at the end of the bird piranha migration attack, to take a short rest. So you may spend hit dice to regain hit points you lost.
Okay.
We still have another thing to...
Yes, and your final part of this quest is Powerful Beast. A powerful beast attacks. Choose either to deal 30 damage with your character's most powerful single attack, or a spell. A spell that stuns also serves this purpose. If a character makes a DC 18 check associated with combat, or they suffer the penalties. Failure and your boat is broken. Or you are. If you're on a boat, you are forced to travel an extra 3 days. If you're on foot, this failure knocks the characters to 0 hit points. Knocks your character to 0 hit points. In either case, you must repeat fend off wildlife 2 more times.
Oh my god.
No!
By failure as well.
Isaac and I will die.
Okay.
So, somebody needs to deal 30 damage?
30 damage with a single attack.
Just one of us?
I can get pretty close to that.
I was going to say, if alone I
I
can...
think that the best person who could automatically do this would be our solo guy.
So, Roland is almost guaranteed to deal that much damage if he hits.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys are going to encounter a behemoth-sized alligator that is swimming in the forest. The creature has thick, tough scales and is going to leap its great body, jaws at the size of your boat, towards to eat one of your boats. I'm going to roll randomly to see which boat. Please divide yourselves on boats so I know which boat it leaps at.
Anybody ever watch that Bee movie?
I've never seen it. I've heard it's very good, though.
What does this have to do with the Bee movie?
No, not the Bee movie. It is a Bee movie, and there's a gigantic alligator that jumps out and eats a plane that's in the sky.
Yes, that's...
I'm sorry.
That sounds amazing!
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
It's a sci-fi original.
It was like the
Shark
Megalodon one.
It was one. It was Megalodon versus Megashark, or no, it was Megashark
That
versus
sounds
Yeah,
spectacular.
that thing.
Big alligator. Yeah.
Alright, so
It's
divide
a mess.
yourselves in boats,
Yeah.
please.
Okay,
So
sorry.
Prongor's with Isaac, obviously.
Isaac,
Isaac, who's with you in your boat?
I'm clearly with him because
Roland
I was hiding
and
behind
we're
him.
together.
Jennifer, so you guys are together. Alright, so 10
And Hero-
through 20
and Hero will be
and
with-
1 through 9.
And Hero will be with us too.
It's your guys' boat. That's who the alligator leaps at. So you guys must deal with the alligator or a ranged attack from one of you guys can be on
Okay,
that.
so
you can't melee it.
I can do a guaranteed 25 plus 2d8. So statistically, my chances of doing 30 in one hit are very high. Unless I roll the 2d8 really badly.
Yeah. You roll
Well, we've
double
been having
twos.
this problem lately, so
Okay, so...
I think you can do it.
Okay.
I believe in you.
She'd probably say, "All yours, Isaac."
I can't believe I don't get
Isaac's
to do
like-
this.
Hey, Isaac, take that one!
Isaac has like bandages all over him, and he like plunks his staff onto the floor of the boat and kind of like feebly stands up.
Is this a saving throw attack? Because remember, you have a level exhaustion, so you
How would
you have
that-
disadvantage on attack rolls.
Do I need... Okay, so...
Oh wait, no, you don't. I'm sorry, it's ability checks.
No, this is not an ability check.
It's not an ability check.
What's... Do I need to roll to hit?
Yes, if
Okay.
it requires a hit roll.
What's
You have
the...
inspiration.
What's the AC of this creature? Or do I not know?
Thick-scaled alligator.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll.
I will use inspiration for my roll to hit.
Okay, that's good.
We believe in you. Don't die. Oh, jeez.
Alright.
AC 16.
16.
16
Oh
on.
my god.
Okay.
So as the giant alligator leaps up, what spell does Isaac summon to ward it away?
So Isaac is going to use Divine Strike plus Touch of Death.
Okay, so he holds up his staff and strikes it down with a vicious, dark power swirling about it.
Yeah, Isaac's going to walk to the foot of the boat, and there's like the silhouette of this big alligator, and then just him. And he's going to take his staff, and his eyes begin to glow, and his hair begins to like float weightlessly as he begins an incantation. And he goes, "From the pits we were born, and from the pits we shall strike." And he takes his staff and shoves it into the foot of the boat. And these inky tendrils like whoosh, shoot out and start lashing at the alligator.
It's pretty sick.
That's totally sick.
I think he deserves another inspiration point, but that's just me.
I thought the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Did you make it?
25 plus 8. So
Yep,
33.
33.
Alright, as you strike down with your staff, you're going to see these ghastly ink-like tendrils explode from the base of his staff, and they are going to grab and sear around the mouth of the alligator as it whips its tail, crashing a great wave onto your ship and shoots away down the river.
Isaac's gonna like pull his staff back out from between the planks, and he's just gonna like and sit back down.
All
Is
right,
the boat damaged?
just a big splash.
The tip just like wedged in the wood a little bit, and then he pulls it back
So
out.
probably when he's sitting back down, she's gonna be like slow clapping at him.
Are you going to call me useful again?
I was thinking about it, she says.
It's appreciated.
You're gonna own that ship by the end.
Get it right back.
Oh, perfect.
All right, you all succeed the quest to Journey to Dramul. You all arrive in a harrowing day's time in the Elven Kingdom of Dramul. You see it from your waterway as you approach. It is high, ivy-covered towers of old green stone built up centuries ago. When you arrive in the city, as you enter the main gates, the group of elven guards at the front is going to witness you from quite a ways off. And then you see them avidly, excitedly talking to each other. And then as you all approach the main gates, there are more guards who have gathered in the front of the area. And one of them, a lead guard by his insignia, is going to walk out and crisply salute towards Roland, specifically. "Champion of Garen," he says. "Welcome to Dramul. May we make it a hearty and enjoyable experience for you. We did not know you were coming. How can we help you?" He says.
He returns the salute.
The other one.
And, dude, I am blanking right now. Where? Oh, the shard is what we're here for.
But-
Wait,
They don't know that.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name?
yeah.
I can't remember the name.
I have it somewhere. Give me a sec.
Wait, is it this dude's name right here?
Probably. It is Quindon Lothloriel. Okay.
That's so elvish.
Sounds like somebody has
So
something
elvish.
in their mouth. I honestly, I'm trying to think of how he would explain being there.
She looks at your paws and waits to see if you want her to go, but she does look like she's ready to step up if you don't say anything.
We're on a quest in the area, and it's brought us here.
Of course, sir. Well, if he's going to gesture towards one of his elves, he says, "This is Maladan. He will gladly take you wherever you need to go in the city, sir." Oh. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
Says. He's going to, he keeps trying to look over at Shadow, and she's going to, nudge her way out in front and sort of, tilt her neck to make herself seen. All the guards in the back are whispering excitedly to each other.
Before we got there, you guys would see June take a moment to repair her appearance because she looks a little bedraggled
Disheveled.
from the journey here. She's not happy with that. So you see her pause for a moment, and she clearly uses magic to fix her clothes, and she fixes her hair. It just weaves itself into this big curly mess on her head that looks good, but doesn't look like it should work because it's too big.
Prongor is going to... He's going to take some inspiration. Master, let me fix your hair. He says.
Isaac, tired as the dead, just kind of lowers his head.
Yuki's
like that.
gonna
He's
look
pull
at
out,
them
a comb and quickly go at Isaac's hair.
You can see this isn't the first time Prongor's dressed Isaac up before.
Yuki looks pretty disturbed.
He's going to
being
pull out
anywhere
a
near
Q-tip
that.
and run it down the back of his ears, and then take a wet cloth and pat it lightly on his neck.
She looks at you and just goes like that, and runs a spell just over you because you're dirty, and she fixed it. Much better.
Isaac stands up looking refreshed and
I'm
says,
fine being dirty, but okay.
"Imagine what we'd look like
What's
if
the
we
better
walked."
impression?
He rolls his eyes. Just curious, son.
Yuki's just gonna pat her clothes and kind of look over at Isaac again and touch her hair a little,
Oh, she got so good.
yes.
Isaac
As-
offers you a small mirror if you need it.
Thanks. She fixes her hair a little bit.
Speaking of mirrors, you see June pull one out and poke it a few times and look at kind of disappointed as she closes it and puts it away.
The Elven Gate is completely open to you. As you walk in, you are greeted by a quaint, beautiful little courtyard filled with bakeries and spice shops, cafes, and eateries. You see the old town towers rise up above the smaller, newer buildings of a more modern make on the outside of the city. And you are greeted with hundreds of Elven and maybe 1% otherwise eyes on Roland. On Roland and Shadow. Shadow is going to whip forward and sort of cast herself posing magnificently in the middle of the crowds. And the guard who has been set to escort you is going to take you in the direction of the nobleman's house. Since you've made your need to get the business done clear, you arrive at Quindon's estate very quickly. It is an old estate on the eastern side of the city, and it is in a beautiful green vineyard filled with crisp apples. You see a number of elven workers picking the ripe fruit down, filling great bundles and baskets. And as you approach, you will see Quindon himself, a taskmaster of an elf, although he has a kind and gentle face and eyes. As you approach, he will rush towards you all, sort of hiking up his work skirt, as he heads up your way. He has a decorative Q written upon the bottom of his frock.
I can't remember. Does this dude know why we're here?
Yeah, he's the one who wrote us a
He
letter.
wrote us a letter, that's what I thought.
As he approaches, he's going to say, good sirs, madams, you've arrived. I am most glad to host you, he says. Will you be staying the night? I'll have them cook a grand feast. When I heard that you were at the entrance to the city, I almost didn't believe you'd come so quickly.
What time of day is it?
It is about 4 p.m.
We could avoid being out overnight in the Enchanted Forest if we stay.
And
No
potentially get
piranhas.
some rest. Yeah, no
Sure.
piranha bat things.
She was.
Piranha bird. Bird piranha.
She looks around the group and assesses our ability to continue. Mostly looking
Looks
at
at
the poor cleric over there, and she goes, "We will graciously accept your most gracious offer."
He says, wonderful, wonderful. I will have them cook up a feast, the likes of which they haven't seen in the Elven Kingdom in a decade, he says. My lord was also wishing that you might stop in, so that he has heard rumors of your quest, he says. We will speak of such things later, though. Please, I will show you the stone. That's what you came for. Thank you for your services. My own guards will take care of them. The city guard is going to nod, and you will see elven warriors, probably mercenaries, come out from the keep. He says, my own guards have been watchful day and night of the stone, and no one has approached it. It's still safe in the vault. I assume that nothing is supposed to happen with it. He says, it's not going to spark
It's not
magically.
volatile or anything. It's not going to blow up. But it would be best to get it away from here.
He is not going to overhype his estate, but he does show you some of his more beautiful architecture on the way. Isaac, you are going to note that this is definitely an old elven money estate. Likely his family's been nobility for at least a couple hundred years, if not longer. Definitely, possibly before the Age of Heroes started. He has a fine if subtle taste, and seems to enjoy bright colors and soft stones. You all are led to a mighty vault of wooden and metal door, which opens up with a brass key. As you look inside, you see many old art pieces, probably used as storage for other parts of the manor. So you see like a lot of old, not dusty, but definitely has lived beyond its time. Couches, chairs, and other pieces of furniture. And in the center, cleared out, there is a empty ring around a boulder-sized chunk of the crown. And you see that one of the half tines of the tip of the crown is sticking, holding the boulder upright.
How big of a boulder are we talking? Like, bigger than one of us? Well, not her. Like, would it be halfling size? Human size? Gnome size?
The boulder is about 5 feet by 4 feet.
Oh dear.
So that's about the length of this table, and then about this tall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty big.
Human size. Okay. A very large human. A stout.
4 foot wide human?
A stout human.
Says, I assume that you will need
It's a
transport.
human that Potjack would appreciate.
I have gotten a wagon prepared for just such a journey, he says.
Is it possible to put on a raft?
I think that could be arranged, he says.
That would probably be best, yes.
So, each one of you has a free night in Dramul to spend. You are gifted delectable elven food, It is delicious, but not totally filling fare. Roland is invited to see the king, and any of his adventuring partners are more than welcome to come along as well. The king is going to ask you about any dangers that may befall Dramul from the rumors he's heard about this breaking. Do you tell him anything that he might not gain through normal rumor?
I'm not sure. Would Juniper have discussed with everybody what things are off?
Oh, I hope so.
What information should we not talk about?
Well, he is technically a king, so honestly, she probably gave you a letter when you went, unless you asked her to come with her, but she would have said, well, we should probably give these to all the Elven kings as well. And so she gives you copies of the same letters that we sent to all of the other kingdoms.
Gotcha. Well, he wouldn't divulge anything that we know that they don't know.
Correct.
Should not tell anybody what the stone is.
Oh, God, no. That's probably a bad plan. Don't tell them that.
They just think it's a rock that's important.
Yes.
The king is aware that it is the crown of Ujasi.
How, exactly?
Well, the noble lord asked him to figure out why he was having visions when he touched it, and his sages were the one who figured out what it was. And that's when he contacted Girin, and they told him what he had. And then
Gotcha.
Quindon contacted you because of that.
She would suggest it would be a good idea to not spread the rumor of exactly what these are.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
Cool.
Mostly because it's quite possible that people will attempt to hoard them.
Yeah.
And do you tell him where you're going or headed?
No.
Okay. All right.
I would lead him to believe that we are trying to round up the rest of these things.
Which
and
is
that's
true.
it.
Got it. And so, do any of you shop, get some activity in the city that you were hoping to get done, greatly enjoy yourself, maybe more than you should have? Give me a take on how your night in the Kingdom of Dramul goes as a compatriot of a famous celebrity, or as the celebrity himself.
Isaac would normally do something very practical with his time here, but given the journey that he just went through, he is going to indulge and relax a little bit and enjoy the amenities that he's used to.
Okay. You look at the deep liquor cave that the Elven noble has. It is a flight of twisting stairs, and all the way down, built into the wall, in this cool chamber tower, is old bottles of Elven liquor that date back to the turn of the last age. He is more than willing to open up any one of them for a quester and friend of Roland Tarkan. And you enjoy a fine elven vintage that would cost a small house.
Okay. That sounds like a good night.
Welcome, buddy.
Yeah. Traveling with Roland ain't that bad.
How about Euphemia?
During the tour, she would have been not paying a lick of attention to what he's showing off and would have instead been kind of glancing around for anything that looked hidden or interesting or suspicious. Does she see anything?
You do see something strange. There is a picture with what surely is Quindon's father. By the starkness is fairly obvious, but there are some facial differences. You see a rainbow-haired gnome and a halfling girl adjacent to the man, posing with him. You also see what appears to be a armored warrior, who in body and build is a bit like Roland, but has sort of wild black hair.
She would have probably asked about... She would have probably interrupted his spiel to ask him about that painting with the... You said a gnome and halfling?
Yeah, a rainbow-haired gnome and a halfling woman. He claims that they are heroes of many years ago who saved the Kingdom of Dramul from Satan's hand.
Okay.
He says you may have heard of the man, the one wearing plate armor. His name is Talion. Go ahead and roll a history check.
Took you long enough.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, sorry. 2!
No, you've never heard of the man.
We're killing it today on the rolls.
And then later, she probably would have wandered over to where Hero is and asked him if he wanted to have a night on the town.
Yeah, I think that would be good, he says. Hey, Quentin told me about this bakery you gotta try. He said they have chocolate-stuffed pastries. What do you think?
I say let's go.
How is he not
He nods.
200 pounds?
You all head off in the direction. You have a bit of a rough time as the baker, who isn't paying very much attention, mistakes Hero for a child and gives him a, free cookie. And then he sort of...
No, she's totally fine with that. That's cool.
He seems not fine with it. But he dejectedly eats his cookie.
Is it at least a really good cookie?
Yeah.
She buys 2 chocolate-filled pastries so that they each have one.
You do have a little bit of cringe. One of the cookies is called the Fat Halfling. And it's a little rounded halfling baked cookie with cream stuffed in the center.
She doesn't look amused.
Out of pure curiosity, is this a franchise that spans multiple Elven Kingdoms? This bakery?
No, it is not.
Okay, just checking.
June, what are you up to?
June is going to disappear for a while.
Okay.
And she goes to one of the cogs.
Got it.
And then she goes to Bridgewalk.
Alright. And
You're not very far at all.
Roland, what are you up to tonight?
He would have probably gone off on his own. He doesn't like Elven Kingdoms very much.
Okay.
Because he's let go of the bitterness because he realizes that these people just don't understand. But when he was younger, he was really resentful of the fact that elves love him. And he thinks when he grew up, he thinks about when elves love him and he's in Elven Kingdoms, he thinks about how differently his life would have been if his parents didn't have to flee to Girin to not be judged for their relationship. And he thinks about how things changed so much since then that it's not really that big a deal anymore. And he loves his life in Girin. He's glad he grew up there. But also, when he was younger, he was very resentful of Elven Kingdoms and the fact that, they gave his family such a hard time. And it was only until, almost 20 years after they got married that all of a sudden there was a bright spot of being an elf for them. They had this kid who's this wonder, and he's going to do these great things, and this hero for, the mixed race. So, I don't know. He definitely harbors a lot of that, but he tries to let it go, and he tries to just, not judge people for the ignorance of their fathers and generations before. But he's a little introspective on this little outing. But he's definitely being nice to people.
Give me a charisma check.
Bad.
What rolls tonight, man?
Also-
Nine.
Oh, nice.
Wherever you go, you see people who want your attention. And you don't have a lot to give. Does Roland grow tired or annoyed with these people trying to take from him?
No, but I guess, like, as much as he wants to, and that charisma check, I guess, will be a testament to it, as much as he wants to let go of that resentment that he has, when he's home and he's, and elves tell him he's great and everything, he's like, oh, alright, yeah, you guys are progressive, you guys are great. And then when he's immersed in elf culture, it does remind him a lot that, like, oh, this isn't you at all. It's not that you have pointy ears, but literally none of this applies to you. You're not a half elf, you're a citizen of Garen. And that's, yet when they look at him, all they see is half elf. Or, partial elf. And I guess he toils over this, this concept of the fact that he is a hero to them based on something very, superficial. And he understands that it's he's an inspiration to some kids and whatnot, but at the same time he's just, very over it at other times. So I guess this is a time where he is, feeling the over it part a little bit more. He's trying to be nice.
When you return, you're going to find Shadow asleep with 12 cats laying on her in the stable. It appears as though she had some manner of catly adventure tonight and has wound up the favorite and queen of all cats in the city. She is dead tired. June, you come out in Bridgewalk. Are you just entering the cog, or are you headed out of the city?
She actually is going to go visit her home. She needs to replenish and ditch some stuff. She's also going to get rid of the massive amount of platinum that's in her bag. It's taking up a lot of room.
You're going to have to remind me who the leader of the cog is.
I knew you were going to ask that, and I don't have that notebook right now. It's somewhere over there.
Then we'll do this a little differently. As you head towards the exit of the cog, a building that is part of the Godmother's structure. And you arrived there by teleportation.
It's the Furblog. I know that at least.
I can't remember the name of that. I'll use somebody else. As you go to head out the door, one of the more important godmothers, although you haven't heard the name before. Yes, you would heard the name. It is a elf named Edark. As the elf approaches you, excuse me, miss, he says. Can I help you? He says, Juniper?
Yes.
He nods and then smiles. He says, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you.
It's alright, I'm on a mission.
I saw you were about to head into the city, ma'am.
Yes. Is there a problem?
There is, in fact, there's a curfew in place.
Really?
The city has been attacked.
By whom? Or what?
The guards.
I beg your pardon?
There's been some manner of mutiny in this.
Against the Winter Child?
A group of... I don't know if I'd call them rebels, but differently minded soldiers of the City Watch raided a bank and took the money from it and somehow made it disappear. Until the magic behind the effect has been discovered, there's a curfew in the city. And it's on right now, in fact.
That's irritating. What are the... what measures did they take to enforce it?
He says there's triple the guard out in the street right now, all on the watchtowers.
Magical
See
ones.
pretty much everything. Oh, just Drake sent.
She nods. Should be fine then.
He nods. Be careful,
Thank you.
miss.
When did this happen?
He's going to kind of like gesture you over to some more secrecy. Will you join me in my office?
Of course, please. Lead the way.
As you go in, he's going to turn a magical symbol, activating a silence spell. He says, "Ma'am, we believe that the sorcerer, Pitt, is responsible for the actions."
June's eyes widen. What leads you to believe this?
All of the men were dazed when they were put in jail. Mind control, we believe. Well, that many at once? It's never been done, except by the sorcerer Pitt.
Yes.
We put up some magical wards around the cog at the moment, but it's very dangerous to go outside of it. It'll be open, and he could still be around in the shadow room. He has a nightmare now.
That does change my plans a bit.
You'll be opening yourself up to attack.
Yes, of course. Very well. I guess Bridgewalk shall not be my destination for now.
He nods a bit. He looks a little chagrined to have to be the one to tell you.
It's fine. I very much appreciate this update. I hadn't heard yet. She looks actually kind of annoyed, and she quickly downplays that for not knowing it.
It was only like an hour ago, he says.
I see. Well, I suppose it's lucky that I arrived when I did, is not earlier.
He says, additionally, we are trying to secure our lines. We have some concerns that there have been... We're checking for any tampering.
Explain.
It was an extra precaution taken by... he's going to name the leader of the cog.
Who will be mentioned later, because we can't remember it.
He basically is telling you that because Pitt's magic is so uncertain as to its power level, it was thought that it could be possible that there's some kind of spy in the communication network. Not inside the building, but placed so that when the transmission leaves the cog, it is caught and listened into. So
Gotcha.
they're just double checking it just to make sure. It is over precautions that are staples of cogs around the world.
June makes several suggestions on certain options they could do.
He nods. Additionally, we are checking all of the godmothers in the facility just to make sure there was nobody grabbed in the streets.
A wise precaution, yes. Please keep me abreast of the situation.
Yes, ma'am. I believe that right now leadership is reporting to the wheelhouse.
That's wise. Okay. Well then. Thank you for the information. I will be heading out.
He nods.
She's going to step back into the mirror, and instead of going to Bridgewalk, she's going to step into Garen.
He says, "Ma'am, you said you were on a quest. Would you like a healing potion?"
Of course.
He's going to give you a medium capability healing potion.
Nice.
And where did you say you went?
She goes to Garen.
Okay.
She just wants to go to the bank, darn it.
You step through a mirror and find yourself in the Garen cog.
Okay.
This time, rather than coming out through the school, you come out through the inner sanctum of the cog. And find yourself in a patch of a park that is quite covered.
Okay. She is going to hurriedly do her business. She deposits her money into the bank. She is going to replenish her supply of sweets. She gets several small things for the group just to make them happy.
Are they obviously Garen things?
Yes.
Okay. And then you head back through?
It's mostly food.
Yeah.
And some
All right.
alcohol for her.
And as you return back to the manor,
Appreciate
we will
it.
go ahead and end the session there for the time being. And remember, heroes, please give us a like and subscribe if you are enjoying this content. And do try this at home. We appreciate it.
Greetings, heroes. One last thing before we go. A little while ago, I commissioned a work from a wonderful artist on Twitter named Zara, and she has delivered an incredible work. I commissioned a picture of Isaac, and she's done an amazing job. So without further ado, allow me to showcase you, as we go, the art of Isaac.